my children. It is time once more to paint your face in the colors of vengeance, black and white. Or perhaps, will something other than death prevail this day? Detective Mark Long is dead, his eyes plucked out and his heart held in front of his face. His wife raped and murdered in front of him, and his daughters kidnapped. Naturally, his soul has cried out for vengeance, and the crow has answered the call, resurrecting him as it has done so many times before. Hell is not a place, my children. It is a man. And until his task is complete, Mark shall be hell. Mark, born in Hong Kong and fluent in Chinese, is the only cop in New York's Chinatown that the people will trust. Though of course only so far. Chinatown prefers to take care of its own problems normally, like the string of child kidnappings by sex traffickers that has struck the area. The local crime organization, the Triad, warned Mark away that they would investigate and handle it themselves, but of course he was not so easily frightened away. As his investigation got close to uncovering the people responsible, not just some Triad members acting without authorization by the families, but wealthy industrialist Arthur Meserve was tied into all this. As Mark's former partner Caitlin Murphy and her former teacher Ken Douglas take over the investigation, Mark begins his hunt with the aid of the Crow. Their first stop is the son of a Triad higher-up, said son having helped in these crimes against him. He kills the son, revealing to the other members of the Triad his connection and dishonoring the father in the eyes of the rest of the gang. The Triad still wants to handle this themselves, even with the help of the recently departed, and so send the father out to deal with Mark while they continue their own efforts. All for naught, of course. But Mark has his own problems. His memories are coming back to him, and he learns that his daughters are alive and kidnapped. And suddenly his revenge is less of a priority. He wants to find and free his daughters, though the Crow continually warns him that his only goal on Earth is to murder those who murdered him. I'm of two minds, my children. On one hand, nothing would make me happier than if you were all safe and sound, away from such sickening beings. But on the other hand, I would prefer he make with taking such sickening beings and putting bullets inside of them. It's a balancing act. Arthur Meserve, in the meantime, is not too happy when the cops come calling at his office, ordering his goons to murder Caitlin and Ken whenever they get an opportunity. Mark closes in on one of the traffickers, whose sister was used as a pawn by him to scout out children to abduct, Caitlin deciding to go after him too on her own initiative. Mark kills the man before she can confront him, though her cowboy antics get her suspended from the case. Not that she cares as she reunites with Mark, the two deciding to help one another to find his daughters and crack the case. Ken, however, is critically injured in an assassination attempt, raising the stakes, though their would-be attacker is taken and may be ready to squeal on Meserve. And unfortunately, the Crow finally splits with Mark when he refuses to continue the path of revenge. He warns Mark he is still dead, his injuries will not heal, his body will decay, and even the special sight given to him after his eyes were plucked out will fade, and he will rot to death within a day. With the aid of the Triad, now shamed by the people into helping Mark after their continual failures, Mark locates all the missing children, save for his daughters, who have been taken by Meserve as insurance. With all the evidence against Meserve, the cops move in to arrest him, while Mark resumes his hunt for him to get back his children. Fortunately, since this puts him back on the vengeance quest, the Crow is only too happy to restore his full powers to him. However, when both Caitlin and Mark have Meserve at their mercy, Caitlin must convince Mark not to kill him, to let him face the courts and be forever humiliated and locked away for his many injustices. The Crow eggs him on, but Mark understands. Even if his spirit cried out for vengeance, in the end what he truly wanted was justice. Sadly, as the Crow explains, no one else before has done what he has done. Its goal is revenge from beyond the grave. If he had fulfilled that, he could have carried Mark back to the land of the dead and be reunited with his wife. But now, with the bargain unfulfilled, Mark must spend the rest of eternity as a restless spirit, traveling the roads of the dead, but never getting home. A sad ending? Perhaps. But for Mark, he got what he truly wanted in the end. Justice! Not only for himself and his family, but for all the victims. And hey, it's not like there aren't still plenty of corpses in his wake.